I chose this car because it called to me. Seal grey, ocean blue inside, Carrera classics, the kind of details that make a car feel like it was made for you. And yes, it's an auto. I know they get their reputation, but I didn't care. I wanted it, I bought it, and I love it. Then the comments arrived, opinions and judgments piling up. And for a moment, it made me wonder if I'd done the wrong thing. But standing here, thinking it through, maybe the answer isn't what everyone else says. But maybe they're not right. And maybe I actually bought the right car after all. And in this video, I'm going to tell you all about it. About whether I believe that the Tiptronic actually deserves to be in a Porsche, this Porsche, and why it works for me better than a manual would. And yes, I know there's going to be a lot of people arguing in the comments about this subject, but trust me when I say the Tiptronic gearbox makes a perfect choice when you're looking to buy your next Porsche. First, let's talk about automatics in general, because every modern car these days is an auto. I recently attended an automotive journalist event at the Millbrook Proving Ground, and every single car there was an automatic. In fact, I found one manual car all day, and that was a rather horrible Vauxhall Astra. Everything else was an auto. There was no choice. Porsche don't even offer many manuals across their range anymore, because demand simply is not there. And although I agree it's a massive shame, what I don't understand is the love that people have for these automatic PDK boxes, even ZF gearboxes. But when it comes to this era of Porsche, the Tiptronic, they hate it. So if you've followed my channel for a while, you'll know that I took the car to the Nürburgring just last year actually. And Misha, the king of the Nürburgring, took it out for a hot lap of the track with me at the passenger seat, looking like a scared farm animal. It was an awesome experience. Mind you, it was a little bit scary. But this is a guy that has driven pretty much everything. Every car, every type of gearbox, with all their quirks, across all different years. And when I asked him, what do you think of the Tiptronic? His response surprised me. He said, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. That's a good compliment from a racing driver that's driven everything. I was pretty impressed by that, and I tend to agree. No, I'm not going to sit here and pretend this gearbox is absolutely perfect. It's far from it. And sometimes it does rather strange things, especially in town, that kind of make you question why I've even got one in the first place. However, for general day-to-day use, I think it works perfectly. Think about how many times you drive your car and get stuck in a massive long line of traffic. You drive it on a motorway to get to the track and you're stuck on motorway traffic. This country is a nightmare for driving. Some wet leaves here, we can skid again. Oh no, traction control's like absolutely not. You're not having it, you're not having it. Have a bit of that, yes. Think about it. When was the last time you drove your car? Did you get stuck in traffic? If the answer was yes, did you enjoy depressing the clutch? Probably not. Driving a manual in really bad traffic in the UK is awful, and you can't say it isn't. Granted, when you get out onto a nice piece of road, they are actually really fun. And my other car, soon to be ex-car, is a Golf GTI, a manual, and I love driving it. But when I go on a long journey and I get stuck in traffic somewhere, I start to fall out with it, because those bits of road where the manual comes into its own, not really worth 90% of the time when you're just driving slowly or getting stuck behind someone. It simply is not worth it. And that's where the Tiptronic comes in. For someone like me who daily drives this car, I do 10,000 miles a year in this car. I drive it everywhere. I go to work in it, I film videos, I go on track. I've done all sorts with it. It makes sense. And yet for some reason this gearbox has the most hate of any gearbox I can possibly find online. You get less people having a go at the CVT box in a Toyota than you do the Tiptronic. It's properly mental. And most of these people that make these comments have never actually driven one. They've only driven either PDKs or manuals. And they've avoided the Tiptronic because lots of people on the internet shout about how bad they are. And I'm here to change that perception. I'm here to change your mind. And I think I can. I'm here on Oliver's Mount Racetrack where I do most of my filming. The weather is absolutely abysmal today, so we're going to stick inside the car. And I'm going to show you exactly how this gearbox performs. I'm going to show you how quickly it changes gear, how quickly it changes up and down the gearbox, how quickly it responds when you slam your foot to the floor, and also just generally how it feels. Hang on, I've got to pull over because I got a telephone call from a garage. New car time. Let me just pull over, take this call, and we will reconvene filming. But this could be quite an interesting call, so yeah, be right back. Right, well that was very exciting. So I have now paid the deposit, and I am the owner of a something or other, which you will see on the channel, hopefully in the next coming weeks. The big reveal, and hopefully you'll all love it. This Cayman is going nowhere, so don't unsubscribe thinking I'm chopping this in for something boring. I'm not. And it's going to sit alongside the Cayman and, in my opinion, be the perfect two-car garage. It's going to look stunning. I cannot wait to show you all. It is so exciting. So before we get into talking about what this car is like on the road and how this gearbox performs, let's talk about the gearbox itself. What exactly is it? Well, it's a torque converter, no clutches here, and it's a 5-speed. And yes, I know a lot of you will be saying, well, 5-speed, that's not enough. It's not enough for a Porsche. Well, let me tell you something. This thing sets off in second gear. It doesn't even use first. You can, of course, use it, but it doesn't typically use it. It sets off in second, it races through only 3 gears, and you're at its top speed of 170 miles an hour. Meaning no matter how fast your PDK or your DSG is, even if this is slightly slower, or a lot slower, it's got to get through half the amount of gears, realistically, between setting off and hitting that top speed. Meaning it makes up for those little bits of lag that you have with how few gears there are. And trust me, it's enough gears. Any more gears in a Golf R and you could call it a mountain bike. But while your Golf R's changing gear like this is just changing through 3. And then you're at top speed. Meaning the length and the breadth of each gear is massive. So it revs out to like 7,000 RPM. Each gear is incredibly long, and peak torque doesn't really come in till 5,000, meaning you're not often changing gear anyway. I recently took this out on track. Took it round Brighton Park. Second and third, that's all I needed. I only needed second and third. If I'd had a PDK, I guarantee you it would have been busier on track. It would have been changing up third, fourth, fifth, down to third. It would have been all over the place. Very, very busy. This isn't. It just got 2. So even it is a little bit slow getting between them, there's only 2. And talking about speed, when was the last time you drove a manual in anger and could change quicker than this? Very few people can. I am not a professional racing driver. I'm a fairly competent driver, and I'm not particularly great. That was quite evident on the Nürburgring and on Brighton Park. But I'm quicker in this than I am my Golf. Just on the gearbox alone, I am quicker in this. Because it's changing gear for me, and even if it isn't, it's just a button press, I can concentrate on everything else. My braking zones, the steering. If I'm out on the road, I can concentrate on the scenery, this beautiful weather we're having, whatever it may be. But the gearbox takes so much of that away, allowing you to concentrate on the other things. It inherently makes you faster on track. And that's a Tiptronic we're talking about. But people don't believe it. But we'll just go around here now, and I'm going to accelerate, and I'm going to go through each of the gears to show you exactly how quick it is. Because I think you're going to be blown away, and you're going to change your perception on what this gearbox is all about. It really, really will. Right, so first of all, you can see we've got a new camera angle as well, people. But anyway, you can see I'm in drive now, and the car's in second gear. We'll just set off very slowly. There it is, changing into third and into fourth. No drama. Gentle acceleration. If I was to press the paddle now into third, for example, we're into third already. Into second, there was a slight delay, I'll give you that one. If I then slide the gear stick over into manual, that will then hold on to second now. So in theory, it will not change up. So this is pretty much what it's like on a track, because you don't change out of second and third very often. So into third. See what I mean? You see? What is slow about this? Another downshift. Downshift again. It won't let you go into first at speed, because obviously you could do some damage to the car. But basically that will then hang on to second gear, which makes it perfect for a bit of ASBO driving. You can really hear it popping out the back as well, which I love. Put it into drive and the car just takes control. It's just like a regular automatic. It's just like any other PDK. It's like anything. But I think you'll agree that is surprising. It is surprising. If you want to stop and put it into first gear, it will do it. Makes it a lot more keen. There's nothing slow about that. I'm just not having it. I'm not having it. What is slow about this? We're coming into a bend. I'm going to downshift. Take this corner in second gear. Try not crash into that Volvo. It's not slow. It really isn't. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that this has become a thing online, and this has become a thing among all Porsche people, really. Tiptronics are rubbish. How? So obviously the car will set off in second gear. But what happens when you want to actually push it along? What you do is you move the gear stick over into manual mode. That gives you full control over the gearbox. Whatever you want to do, the car will oblige. Sometimes a bit slow, but most of the time pretty acceptable. I'm just dropping it into second as we come around this very, very slippy corner, because it's quite fun. The leaves. But yeah, second gear, we're coming up a hill and bam, into third. I don't even need fourth, and this is what I'm talking about. You don't need all the gears. This is quite a tight and twisty circuit, and on country roads it's a similar kind of vibe, so you're not going to need much beyond second and third. Into second, into third, into fourth, and the downshifts aren't actually terrible either. We're in fourth gear now. I want to come down into third. I'm pressing it. Pretty quick. And again into second. And yes, you can feel them. You can feel the gear changes, I will admit. And a lot of people love PDK because it's as smooth as anything. But for me, sometimes that little bit of engagement with the car is what you need. And because the gearbox is not perfect, it does not always make the right choices, and especially around town sometimes it makes rather silly choices. You need to think about it. You need to plan a little bit before you attack a B road. You need to look at the bend and think, the car may choose third, but what if I know I need second? You have to think like that. With a PDK, you can just barrel into a bend. You can just hope the car will sort it out. If it doesn't, you can just press the paddle and it will just drop instantly and off you go. Whereas this requires a little bit more thought. A little bit more like a manual. And manuals are fun, right? This is what you're telling me all I should buy is a manual, and I've bought the wrong car. But after watching this today, do you still think that? Where are the faults in this Tiptronic? Yes, I've touched on it. Round town, sometimes it's a little bit bizarre. Having said that, you hear that about PDK, you hear that about DSG. And when I mean it makes some weird choices, it kind of just maybe changes up when you don't want it to, it changes down randomly if there's a slight gradient in the hill, and with the loud exhaust it's very, very apparent. You know, that is basically the only issue, I would say. There are a lot of Porsches that come with this Tiptronic gearbox as well. This is not alone. The 996 generation of 911 comes with this gearbox, the Turbo S being the one that jumps out at me. They're a positive bargain on the used car market. Being the Tiptronic, they're less attractive to buyers, meaning the price is a lot lower. And anyone you speak to who has either driven one or got one of those loves it. And the 996 Turbo S Tiptronic is meant to be a quicker car than the manual. Due to the power it has, you wouldn't be able to change gear quick enough for how quickly that thing accelerates, which is where the Tiptronic comes in. Did I buy the wrong car? Well, I'll let you make your own mind up, but I hope today's video has showcased the Tiptronic in a positive light and showed you that maybe don't believe everyone on the internet. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for plenty more videos like this one to come. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.